¿Qué huele, raza? Welcome back to the channel. I cannot be more excited to be making this video right now. It is finally time to start working on my truck again. And I have so many plans for it. This feels unreal to think that this truck is finally back at the top of my priority list. I've been working on so many other cars for the past few years. This thing's been down since Texas 2K of 21. So basically, just a little backstory. You know, I raced this truck for probably 2 or 3 years, and it was the funnest shit ever. I built it all here in this garage before I had any of this fancy stuff. I didn't have a lift back then. I didn't have any of this shit. I didn't have nice floors, no nice lighting, nothing. And basically, like I said, March at Texas 2K, I blew my third motor in a row. So I had an LS1 in it at first, blew that up at the end of February-ish in Phoenix, put another motor in it, blew that up, put another motor. So I blew 3 motors in the span of like a fucking month. So after I blew all those motors, I was getting real, I started talking to Chris Lueras a lot. For those of you that don't know Chris, he used to own, or he still owns, Victor's Dime. At the time, it was a big block Chevy with nitrous. And that truck ended up burning down in Hobbs. Some of you guys, saw the video and everything. I was there filming it. After the truck burned down, he sold me his rear end. I didn't just go buy parts off of him. That deal was made way before the truck even burned down. He sold me the rear end. He got me a sweet deal on this back half from S&W. And then he also helped me get it installed. I think Brian Boone is the guy that installed it for me. So check this out real quick, guys. This shit came out sweet, man. He sold me the wheels as well. Double beadlock race stars. The rear end is a Dana 60. I think it's got 35 spline axles in it. It's got nice Willwood brakes. And, I basically picked up the truck from him like this. And that took, obviously, a few months between the time I got money to pay him for all of this stuff. And all of that obviously took me a while to get it all done. This has been really just taking forever because of money and all the projects that I've put in front of it. Then we get up here. Once I picked it up from Chris, I actually built this whole tube front end for it from scratch, which actually came out really nice. It's not completely done. There needs to be a few more bars added, but that's basically where we sit right now. Now it is time to work on this thing, and basically, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. My original plans were just keep the 8-point mild steel cage that's in it, which is not ideal, and, turbo LS, twin turbo LS. I have some twin turbos that me and Sabino bought a long time ago. We got them upstairs. There's some pretty nice Borg Warners, but, with all the shit going on right now, I have this idea in my head, or this plan that's very expensive. I want to put a big block Chevy in this thing. I want to put a big block Chevy with a blower in it. And obviously, there's one small issue with that. It's very fucking expensive. And to be honest with you guys, I don't even have the budget to build it with the twin turbo 5.3. So I don't know how I'm going to put a big block Chevy in it. But I know that I'm going to bust my ass for the next few months and figure something out to at least try and work towards that. If it doesn't work out, then it'll end up a twin turbo LS. But as sort of a buffer between whether or not I'm actually going to twin turbo it or put it on a big block Chevy with a screw-driven blower, I'm going to upgrade the cage. So I'm going to cut out this mild steel cage, and I'm going to 25-3 the truck. So lift the cab, cut the floors, all that good stuff, do all the floor bars. And once the chassis is done, then I'll see where I sit, see, if I've got some more money out of nowhere to buy a big block and a fucking Pro Charger for it. If not, then we're going 5.3 and twin turbos, and that's gonna be what this truck's gonna be about. And hopefully I can be racing it, you know, sometime next year, probably like a year from now. You know, chassis cert in Albuquerque, we get to certify one time a year. That's at the end of March. That's when the cert guy comes to the track. So for one, I gotta finish this 25.3 before then. But yeah, guys, I'm really excited to start working on this thing. I'm gonna have hopefully weekly videos on it. Let me know if you guys want me to do like DIY or like how-to style videos, or if you guys just want me to cover what I've done, you know, throughout the weeks. And after the chassis, you know, that at that point we're gonna decide what motor we're gonna put in it. Let me know in the comments. Do you guys want to see a big block in the truck? I do. I really want to put a big block in it, because that shit would be rowdy. I got the cage completely cut out, and while I was cutting this out, I was like, damn, you know what? It's a fucking good thing I did this, because this shit was ghetto. Check this out. It's crazy to look at this and think about how far I've come in welding cages, especially considering the one I just finished. David's CRX cage just came out fucking phenomenal, especially for a pre-bent cage. And just thinking, you know, it's crazy to think how far I've come. Check this shit out, guys. Garbage, dude. Like, what the f were you doing? Obviously, this is the first cage I ever installed in any vehicle. And, well, you can obviously tell this shit is trash. It's crazy to think that I MIG welded it and I didn't get all the way around, and now I'm TIG welding cages, welding them, you know, 100% better than this. Whew. That's crazy to think how far I've come in welding in the past few years. You know, that was the first cage I ever did, and now the third cage that I'm on came out dope as hell, fully TIG welded, chrome ollie, and it's fucking legit, especially compared to this. Now I want to use this example of my truck, right? That cage was ghetto. The wiring in this truck was ghetto because I was tearing it apart earlier. Everything about this truck was ghetto, right? It was the first thing, well, second car I ever put together, but you know, this is a little more serious than the Datsun was. But that just goes to show, and I just want to use that to, you know, tell everybody to just get started. Like, my shit was ghetto, right? And I'm not saying go do a bunch of ghetto shit, but if you don't ever get started, you'll never get anywhere. And that's with anything, right? So it may have all been ghetto as f, but I made some of the greatest memories ever racing this truck with the homies, did all kinds of shit, met a shit ton of people. And along the way, now I've met, I'm vlogging in here. Someone getting their shit stolen or something else, I don't know. But along the way, I've met the people to guide me in the right direction, right? And now I got a truck that's 4-linked. We're putting a 25.3 cage in it, and we're thinking about putting a crank-driven blower on a big block Chevy in it, right? So just get started. Also, if you're a sucker for small tire street racing, give me a like. But get started, you know, and you'll eventually work into your goals. But if you try and like build the fucking baddest thing right off the rip, you're probably not gonna be able to drive it, for one, and for two, it's just gonna get overwhelming and you're gonna end up selling your project like a lot of people. Anyways, guys, that's the end of my little inspiration right there. Thank you all for watching. Come back next week to watch us start on the 25.3 chassis. Thank you all for watching. Se la lavan.